Well, the Cleveland Browns lost to the Cincinnati Bengals today. And there's much more than a loss. You lost a quarterback. Deshaun Watson injured, looks like most likely for the year. DTR played. Jameis Winston played. We're going to have to break this game down because there's a lot of things that happened during this game that I think are going to signal a turning point for the Cleveland Browns this year. And we got to talk to the fan base a little bit too. We've been showing we've been doing some stuff, and I'm kind of disappointed where we at with that. So we'll talk about it as always. This ain't for everybody. Feel free to roll out early because we're gonna get real in here in a second. It's G Bush here on the Browns post game on the barbershop. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Welcome on in. It's your boy G Bush. Out here again with the Cleveland Browns. Browns lose a tough game to the Cincinnati Bengals. I want everybody to come in on, grab a seat. As always, this will be some truth serum and elixir for you. If you are adverse to keeping it real, I tell you right now, the door is there. It ain't for everybody. This cup of tea ain't for everybody. You know how I give it up on these post-game shows. And so one of the things that we got to get to, usually we start off by talking about how terrible the Cleveland Browns are. We will do that. We'll get to that. We'll get to the the greatest hits, so to speak. We'll talk about the offensive line. We'll talk about the ineptitude. We'll talk about the penalties. We'll talk about Kevin Stefanski and the lack of coaching and adjustments. And we'll talk about all those great things. But it pains me that today we have to actually talk about the fan base. First and foremost, thoughts, prayers, wishes go out to Deshaun Watson. I have a special place in my heart for any players that go through injuries. As you know, the injury that I think he went down with earlier in the right before halftime is an Achilles heel injury. I've had that injury before, and my dad has had an injury. And I've had 17, 18 surgeries, so I've been through a lot of surgery, so I know what it is to be laying on that field and in a lot of pain. But more so than anything, the time, energy, and effort that you put into the game to try to be out there to go play for individuals, you know what kind of long, hard road is ahead of you. And so for me, first and foremost, I want to say that. Because I try not to act like these players or toy soldiers. That's one thing I don't like, and I don't like the inhumane nature of sometimes this fan base and how the fan bases go. And this is not just here, but this is overall. But I got to be clear about certain things, man. I'm disappointed, man. Myles Garrett comes out and says it. Players, there's players that people that were out the game that were texting me. G Bush, they was cheering when the guy went down with an injury. And I put the tweet, hey guys, let's have some Browns Twitter. Let's have some sort of some sort of class, man. Like, at the end of the day, I said myself weeks ago that I would have probably made the move on from Deshaun Watson and play somebody else, right? But just because you don't want a guy to be the starting quarterback does not mean that you want to be out here messing around and clapping and cheering and yelling and doing all kind of, being excited for somebody's demise. To me, it's just not a one-off with the Browns fan base, though. This is the problem I got. It's not a one-off. They did it with Baker Mayfield. They did it with Tim Couch. They did it with Derek Anderson. I saw some of the same people tweeting that they were happy when Odell Beckham tore his ACL in Cincinnati a couple years ago. This is nothing new with the fan base. And this might not even be a popular blog, but I don't care. This may not be somebody that you're going to click on this and be like, oh my gosh, this is great. Let me go in and check out G Bush. Nah, this ain't one of those. And if people don't respect that, that's fine with it. But at the end of the day, man, people be showing who they really were. People be showing who they really are. Because my problem with this is just not about, you can say that it's about the allegations. You can say, well, it's karma and it happened to a good person. You can say it's about that. But it goes to the intent and character that's in our fan base and in our fandom right now. Let's be real. So if you're saying that you cheered because Deshaun Watson had got hurt because you thought it was karma because of all the allegations, how do you explain to Derek Anderson then? He ain't had no allegations. He ain't had not one allegation. He didn't do nothing. He just came here. He was just playing bad. What about the Tim Couch? He was your first overall pick. You said, man, maybe because we got Deshaun Watson in here and he was supposed to be this, but he wasn't that, so we're angry about it. We didn't even draft him, he's a mercenary. Well, you did that with Tim Couch. You booed him too. You booed him, same fan base. You booed him. Let's keep it real. When Odell Beckham Jr. went down, good. We don't have to worry about pointing out why he's open. This is the problem that you guys have in this fan base, and I'm just, and it ain't gonna be popular. Just keep it real. The problem with this is you need players to come here. You need good players to come here. You need good players that want to sign secondary contracts here. You want players to come from other organizations and be able to play here. You guys don't understand. You don't do yourself any favors when Myles Garrett has to come out to you guys and say you should be ashamed of yourself for cheering when somebody gets injured. You guys don't get it. And I know it ain't everybody, and everybody gets a bad rap. Everybody in the fan base gets a bad rap for doing it, right? But you don't make yourself look great by doing that. You don't got to do that, man. Like, come on, bro. Like some of you are fathers and leaders and people who are supposed to be about being a man or a woman, or you pay taxes out here, bro. And you got people, you know how many people I had to run up, and you know how many people I had to block on Twitter just because they just jumping off the porch because of what? That don't make no sense, man. You can want a guy to be replaced without him being injured. You can. You can. Trust me. I used to even go back. Let me just say this, and just so you know, I'm not being no hypocrite. I'm going to be real with you. When I played the game, if it was a person on the opposite team, I didn't care if they got hurt. I didn't. Like, that's part of the game. It's part of whatever. Right? We trying to go out here and win and play hard. If you get hurt, clap it up. But you know what? What started to realize that is it didn't really dawn on me until I started having them surgeries. And so I started laying on those fields. And so I had to be up at 6 a.m. rehabbing. So I was going through depression, and I was going through all kind of things because I couldn't play the game that this was the whole reason I'm in school, college, doing this. I had to rethink something. I had to rethink a lot of stuff as I got older. What good does that do? You know, I've been through, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just give you a part of just real G Bush here. It had got to a point where one of the main issues in my life is I held grudges. And what I realized is when I held grudges, that wasn't doing nothing against that person. All that was doing is holding me back. All that was doing is hold my blessings back, hold my money back, holding me stepping forward and being a better person and doing what I'm supposed to do. So there's a lot of people out there that's just excited, and this is part of this blog here. There's a lot of people out here excited that Deshaun Watson is now injured and out of the way, so you can see what? Don't y'all get that it's a pattern here? We need to actually start thinking about what it is as a fan base that we are doing and how we move to say, hold on. We talk about this dumpster fire all the time. How has that dumpster fire affected us in the way we interact and the way we move? And there'll be some Twitter warriors, and there'll be warriors out there that want to, it's always a couple of those guys. It's always a couple of them that, I don't care what happens. I pay my money. I pay my ticket. I pay this. I pay that. When you start talking about money, when you start putting money above people, when you start talking about how that's your whole animus about whatever's going on, and just realize this, fellas, it's just not Deshaun Watson. We've been doing this type of stuff. We've been doing it. And it don't have to be necessarily the allegations. It don't have to, with Odell Beckham, what was the watch? Now you're wearing that watch. I don't like it. Then when he got injured and got on Twitter, I remember like it was yesterday, people saying, why isn't he tweeting out that the Cleveland Browns went to the playoffs? The man just had surgery. I saw people last year, Deshaun Watson had surgery. Why is Deshaun Watson not on the field with his teammates? He just had surgery. Why would an immobile person be on a dangerous sideline with 300-pound men barreling towards him? The reality of the situation is this. We like to think that we're the greatest fan base in the world. There's parts of our fandom that I can appreciate. I love the fact that we got fans all across the great world, in Europe, in Asia, in Africa, in all parts South America. I love the fact that even though we have not been good, y'all have come and support. I love the old guard. I love the fact that the old guard of the people that showed up at Old Municipal Stadium had those tickets, and I love the Cardiac Kids, love Bernie. Hey, they was doing jobs and going back to work. Think about that. They was going to the games, getting drunk, and then have to go back to the steel mill to work the double. I can respect that. I love the historians of my game. But there are a part of our fan base that I could do without. There's a part of my fan base that I don't want nothing to deal with. Because just because you support the Browns and you got a Brown jersey on don't mean that you're a good person. That's the reality of the situation. And you can always, and there's always time, trust me, it's always time to say, you know what? That was kind of tasteless a little bit. I wish I had that one back. I wish I had it back. Everybody's redeemable to a certain extent. But there's going to be people that'll triple down and double down on it because that's the world we live in. Be as nasty as you can. Take as much as you can. Say whatever you can as long as it benefits you and you come out okay. I don't like that part of sports. I don't like that part of the world. Do I understand it? Yeah. I understand there's not always going to be good people in every place, and I can't lose no sleep over it. But today was bad. Today for me, it was bad because I would have thought as a fan base that we would have been better than that to just say, look, hey, he was playing bad football. It's part of the reason I went on and how I used to get in these arguments with people about the allegations. We could talk about the football. We could talk about whatever he's doing on the field. But the part about the Deshaun Watson thing is that we have a propensity to take everything and put it on top of the scale when it ain't got nothing to do with football. And don't tell me you just do it with serious allegations. You do it when people tweet. You do it when people go on vacation. You do it when people don't do what you want them to do. You want robots that go out there and get your fantasy points, shut up and go home. It don't matter about the injuries. It don't matter about their personal lives because you've made the decision that they aren't worth any of that because they're rich. So anybody that makes a lot of money, your feelings don't count. Where you are don't count. And it is what it is. I understand that. That's America. It's capitalism at its finest. Make as much money before you leave this place and the rest be damned. But for me, and hopefully there's people like that I like to associate with that are like-minded individuals. There's a little more extra out here than just making a lot of money, saying the most inflammatory things, and just living your life like some sort of, I don't know, zealot. Disappointing today. Hopefully people get better. Hopefully we don't got to keep having the same story, but this is part of it. With that being said, let's get to the football field because that's what you guys came here for, the football part of it. But this actually ties in as well. C.G. Bush, I remember saying these types of things and talking about the Cleveland Browns. And I remember saying a couple of weeks ago in a blog, if it doesn't work out with Deshaun Watson, then there are going to be some very strong, conversations to be had. Who would have known these conversations would have been had this quickly? Let me tell you why. All those people that were cheering and all those people who have said it was Deshaun Watson and all the people that, minimized the offensive line and minimized Kevin Stefanski and minimized the roster and Andrew Berry and minimized what receivers are and minimized the entire year. Guess what you get an opportunity to do? You got what you wish for. You saw the thumbnail, right? Comes back to the thumbnail. Is this what you wanted? Because you have it. I've heard for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Again, let me put it down so you guys can. There's no way to twist my words. I personally said a couple of weeks ago that I would have shot Deshaun Watson down a couple of weeks ago. So, with that being said, that's the base level. Let's talk about it. You see, you guys wanted this, and you have it now. Deshaun Watson most likely has an Achilles heel injury. He'll be likely miss the rest of the year. And if given what's going to happen the rest of the year, chances are it's the last time he's going to play in the Browns uniform, right? Contract aside, whatever y'all want to say with that. Here's the reality about sports. We'll talk about Deshaun Watson and his surgery. They'll come out on Monday and Tuesday, confirm whatever it is. Deshaun Watson has scheduled surgery. And kind of like he was the year before, I've been through this multiple times. You'll kind of go under the radar, out of sight, out of mind. That's the way the NFL works. He'll get injured. He'll have surgery, just like Baker did a couple of years ago. Out of sight, out of mind. It's on to the next one, right? But see, this is what you were asking for. See, now, because he is hurt, and there is so many games left in the season, you 1-6 now? 7 games? Roughly what? 10 more games? 9, 10, whatever. You have a large sample size here. And Deshaun Watson is the worst human being in the world. Deshaun Watson is the whole reason people didn't want to play hard. And that was the one that really gets me the most. What kind of professional are you when you sitting here telling me that because somebody's playing bad, I'm not going to do my job? I got a family and wife and kids at home. But I'm going to let the emotions of another man dictate how hard I play. And I got tuition due. I got a mortgage. Y'all crazy. Y'all, I don't want them type of people on my team. But I see how it go down. So all those people that said it was because Deshaun Watson gave us no opportunity. Well, we're gonna find out now. Because if I'm counting 1,800 people in here across all platforms, hit that like button. Even if you're hating, hit the like button. Super Chats is available. We'll go to Super Chats immediately after this and get your comments. Because I know I'm talking spicy. I know some people that's gonna hate. If you want to hate and you send me a super chat, I'll read the super chat if you're hating. But this about to get spicy. Let me tell you this. You wanted what you got. Deshaun Watson is no longer a piece on the board. He's no longer in this political game of who done it. Deshaun Watson is no longer a piece on the board. Go ahead and knock that down. Now, if you're counting, this has been the longest running scheme that I've ever had in my life. I've been warming this scheme up and been talking about this for 3.5 years now. It's all coming to a head. You see, Kevin, Andrew, D. Podesta, you've systematically scapegoated one after another, bro. It all started way back when. We don't even know. All started way back when. The first casualty, we talked about him a little bit today, was Odell Beckham Jr. Oh, it was Odell. We can't get him the ball. It's the disconnect. He didn't want to be here. His dad got the thing. He was wearing the watch. Oh, my goodness. Baker's scared to say anything to him. Guess what? They traded him for a bag of nothing. They cut him in the middle of the year. He goes to the Rams and win the Super Bowl. Okay? So he's off the board to blame. That's gone. They come back again. Now Odell ain't there. Now we got to figure out what's going on with Baker. Is he worth a contract? Is he worth an extension? Baker's arm hurt. Baker gives us the best chance to win. Baker, we're going to keep trotting him out there. All in the meantime, you're losing games. Your offense still looks crazy. It's funny how when everybody wants to talk about how the offense looks great, they don't never mention that year. Baker comes back, and guess what? Good old Baker. For all those Baker Mayfield fans that that love Baker and think that the Browns messed up, we'll put a name to it then. Stop getting mad at me for telling you about it. Put a name to it. Was it Stefanski? Was it Barry? Was it D. Podesta? Who decided that Baker Mayfield wasn't worth a long-term extension? Don't get mad at me. Ask them that question. But you know what y'all did? Y'all made him prove it. Y'all trotted him out there injured, and guess what happened? He proved that he played himself right out of a contract. He had surgery. You jettisoned him away. Baker Mayfield is now off the board. If you're counting, that's OBJ and Baker off the board. Now we gotta get a quarterback. Let's go get Deshaun Watson. Now look, Deshaun Watson turned him down one time. Whose idea was it to give him $234? Y'all be talking about this money all the time. Whose idea was it to give it to him? Huh? We need to know. You got Deshaun Watson. Guess what? We heard all this year. It was Deshaun messing up. Deshaun ain't doing nothing. And then you had Amari Cooper. Funny how it's really funny how life kind of, repeats itself. Amari Cooper, disinterested, not getting the football. When he gets the football, inconsistent drops. You have to move Amari Cooper in the middle of the year, just like you did Odell Beckham Jr. I looked up Amari Cooper, 66 yards, touchdown, more production than we ever got out of him. Is it a coincidence? I don't know. This is the third or fourth time that we've been talking about why can't this guy get the ball and why can't that guy get the ball? We've been talking about it. Throw in Kareem Hunt, who automatically looks like he's better now in Kansas City. Or we kind of, shout out to Darren Smith. He hit me up and said, I thought Kareem Hunt was on 3 wheels. It seems like he's starting in Kansas City. Remember we would say we couldn't get Chubb and Hunt the ball. Can't get him the ball in the same place. Can't get him. 3-4 guys. You got rid of Amari Cooper. He's off the board. Can't blame him anymore. If you're counting at home, that's Baker, Odell, and Amari Cooper. Also, Kareem Hunt. Throw that 4 in there. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot. In the offseason, you fired and scapegoated Alex Van Pelt. That's 4 right there. Right now. He's off the board. Can't blame him for the offense. You bring in Dorsey. You don't even let him call the plays. So now you got the Denny's menu and 4 pieces off the board. It's getting kind of tough to play hide and go seek when you ain't got no tree to hang out or old broke down, parked down car. You know how it is playing hide and go seek back in the day. You had to find that old rusty vent. You're behind the van, behind that tree. Guess what? Stuff is getting taken off the board. The last moving piece that you had, that everybody was chilling and waiting on. 2,200 in here. Hit that like button wherever you at. Better share it. You ain't going to get no truth like this. I'm giving you real facts. All that other stuff, look, this ain't for everybody. I'm sorry. The last moving piece for you, Kev, D. Podesta, Andrew Berry, was Deshaun Watson. And you played a nice game. I like how you played it. See how you played it? You said, listen, we had to see what we had in him. We had to see what was going on. Because as long as he was on the field, you could always say it was just Deshaun Watson being that bad. And some fans are so naive, they don't watch football. They just watch the quarterback and throw down the field. Some fans just don't even care that much. And so you will always have public sentiment. You would always have public sentiment if Deshaun Watson was continually playing football. You knew at the end of the year, you can always just say it was Deshaun. He just couldn't, he don't have it no more. Was Deshaun Watson playing good? Nope. Would I have sat him down? Sure. But you was using him as the human shield. Unfortunately, and prayers to him and hopefully he has a quick recovery, he's gone for the year with a devastating injury. So now, guess what we have, boys and girls? We have all of the pieces off the board, and the people that are in the crosshairs today is Kevin Stefanski and the leadership group. Because now, all that extra stuff y'all was asking for, oh, baby, what happened with Flacco? Flacco, what happened with that offense? It looks good on everybody else. Well, now we're going to see what you're going to do now. Make it look good. Today, it didn't look like that. Today, it looked like the same offensive line with the same issues. Maybe when we get Nick Chubb back, magically everything will be back to normal. Batman will come back. He'll get 155 yards like it was 2020, and the Browns will win a low-scoring affair with the same great offensive line and play-action football. Stop it. Nick Chubb had like 11 carries for 20-something yards. And he came back getting hit in the backfield with no movement, no push, no nothing. Jack Conklin still can't get a push. Jed Wills is still not a professional player. And you thought that was going to help something? Okay. DTR was still running for his life. So all them excuses, all of that pandering, all of that extra stuff that you was thinking you was going to get off, you got 10 weeks. I told you this 3 weeks ago. You won't survive a tank. Can't do it. Now that the magnet is gone, now that the ire, see what that was when they was cheering? That was all of the angst that was built up in the fan base. That was all of the angst. That was all of the losing. That was all of the being the laughing stock of the league, having your name in the league all the time for being, why did you give him the contract? Why is he doing this? Look at him doing this. Let's point out how bad he's playing right now. Guess what? He was. But all that's gone. So that energy and that angry mob, it's the thing about angry mobs. They don't really have a collective conscience. They just go to and fro and do what they may. That's the thing about angry mobs. You got to watch that. And right now, this fan base is a rabid, angry mob. You're 1-6. They thought they were going to the Super Bowl, and now they wake up halfway through the season. It ain't even cold yet. And they're talking about Shadur Sanders or Quinn Ewers. They're talking about, do we have the right, we got the right culture? They're talking about special teams play. You giving them kick returns? Like you can't hit extra points. We ain't even on the field, fellas. We've spent a whole doggone 40 minutes on this live. And we ain't even talked about none of the blunders, none of the on the field stuff. The mob is coming, Kev. You might get a little reprieve because some smart, astute journalist will do this. I already know what they're coming. Well, listen, to be fair to Kevin, he didn't have the week he wanted to plan with DTR. Usually, DTR didn't get all the first team reps and Jameis Winston wasn't even available and getting all the reps. So I could see why they struggled in the game a little bit. The more accurate representation of what Stefanski's going to do is what he's going to be about this week. Oh, I like it. You guys are good at your job. Your deflection is on 100. You guys deflect the best, but you can't deflect no more. Yeah, bring yourself out there next week and let it look like it was looking. Let you be the most penalized, undisciplined, softest, no imagination team in the game again next week. And that angry mob will show up with them tiki torches. Let me tell you that. You can't hide from this one. G. Bush been telling you for 3 to 4 years. And if you guys were Coach Kevin Stefanski, 2-time coach of the year, he's going to get a job anytime. I know how it works. It's a good old boy system. You got to say that. You can't say he out of here. You might want a job one day. How you want a job one day and you didn't say, I remember back in the day you told me I was. This is why you need to shut up, G. Bush. While you're ahead, you need to stop it. But you tell me in the chat I'm wrong. You tell me I'm wrong. You rebuttal it. It's probably half of y'all. It's 2,600 right now. It's 1,200. 1,200. You don't even like G. Bush. You're like, damn it, this is he has a point here. What are we gonna do with this one? Ain't no what are we gonna do? You're gonna coach, you're gonna coach for your job. That's what you're gonna do. Because I told you 3 years ago, when they moved on from Baker Mayfield, when the stock market crashed a couple of years ago, shout out to all you financial people over there. When the housing market crashed during that recession, 07, 08, and Stearns and all them Wall Street banks folded up. You know what the government did? They gave them all that bailout money. Here you go. You know why? They were too big to fail. They're too wrapped up in it. The whole doggone economy is based on that. They are too big to fail. They fail, we fail. And right now, the Cleveland Browns have invested too much money. They got too many name brand recognition players. They got too much talent, and they got an angry mob that been waiting for 3 to 4 years. And you done told them this was what their window was for the Super Bowl. The Browns are too big to fail. You're too big to go out here and be one in something, because you won't survive it. You won't survive it. You'll be just like the CEOs of Merrill Lynch and all those other guys. Chase or whatever the case, all the money marketplaces. CEO don't survive. They don't survive that. We will give you funding. We'll get you back, but you won't survive. And it's the same thing happens with Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski, and D. Podesta. You dodged the bullet the first time, but you better get a plan together, and I'm talking about right now, because you don't got no excuses. Deshaun Watson, they're making him run that playbook. Well, Deshaun ain't there no more. What's stopping you now? Hey, what's keeping you back now? Can you let me know? Oh, well, it's he can't read the defenses. He don't know what's going on. Okay. Well, you got Winston and DTR. Pick one of them. And if you make guys look so good, let's get it done. He's holding on to the ball too much, G. Bush. Holding on. Well, okay. If he was holding on to the ball, the 3-step game better be on point. And all them offensive linemen that say they wasn't blocking because Deshaun didn't give them a chance to really win. I want to see y'all block now. It's a new guy in there. New energy. Nick Chubb's back. Inspirational leader. You should be high on the hog, right? Or not really? We're going to find out. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. We're going to do some evaluating. Because even if we get a quarterback, I don't know if you're the right one to be coaching them up. I don't know if Andrew Berry the right one to be picking. We're going to find out these next few weeks. All the real Browns fans going to figure this thing out together. Because ain't no excuses. You can come in there. You got your whole offensive line back, right? Wills, Antonio, Pochich, Conklin's back. Dunn has played for you. Why can't you go back to the old system? Kevin can't run his own system. Kevin can't run that anymore. He can't run it. They want a new age, new and improved playbook. Oh, you can't run that no more? Here's the full example. Well, Bill isn't here. Here's what you can do. There's a thing called the internet. Hey, Mr. Offensive Assistant, here's what I want you to do. Can you give me every run play from the time we've been here in 2020 until Bill left last year? Yeah, all of them. I also want to get you, I want all the personnel clips, 2 tight end, 3 tight end personnel, play action. I want all those plays. Okay, coach, I got you. You take them plays, and you know what you do? Hey, come on in here, guys. I know we put in a whole new offense. We said it was going to do because Deshaun was here, but guess what? Don't worry about that. Don't even worry about that. We got something new. And guess what? You know the great thing about that is, with new offenses and all that good stuff, is like, it's the whole team. It's not like the whole offensive line didn't run that old system. David Njoku ran the old system. Nick Chubb ran the old system. What's different? No more excuses. Checkmate. All the pieces on the chessboard is down. It's checkmate time. You're coaching for your job. There's no reason you can't get it done. If you don't like the offense, change it. If you don't think the play call is creative, get rid of the offensive coordinator or give the plays over. If you don't like certain personnel, get rid of it. If you want to go back and trade, go make the trade. But we're going to find out in these next games if we got a head coach and we got leadership in the front office. With that being said, I'm going to turn the floor over to you guys. 2,700 in here. We appreciate 741. Gosh, dog, that's a lot. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate you. So go to these super chats. Let's get to them. We're going to get to every one of them. Let me get my little thing down. make sure we take this down. Let me take this down so we can see. G. Bush's bad neck. What's up, man? You know you made it when you got parody accounts. Hey, G. Bush, just watched Miles' interview, and he said fans have been sending Deshaun Watson death threats and going to his house and coming after his family. So what we dealing with? I repeat it. Just because you root for the Browns, I don't like you. You think people in the fan base can do that and get away with that, and I rock with you? You a sucker. I don't want to deal. I don't deal with people like that. I don't deal with people who make moves like that. That sucker moves, and I don't want nothing to do with them. It's a problem with our doggone country half the time. We got people. We got real life problems. You got real life problems in this country, and you got people doing that. Real life problems in real life, and you got people doing that, sending death threats. That I don't deal with cult-like behavior. I don't do very well with cults. I don't do it. People need to grow up. These is grown men. These are people that you go to school with, your neighbors, your people at the grocery store. It's wild. It's so wild. It is so wild to me. Remember, these punch Miles in his car. Remember that. And sometimes when you bring this back up, people will get mad at you for bringing it back up. I don't care. I'm going to bring that up. Yeah, y'all did do that. And you don't listen, I don't do loyalty tests. Everybody that root for the same team as me ain't good people. They're just not. And sometimes you need to call a spade a spade. Today, it was some suckers in the audience. It is what it is. Period. You pray for his downfall. Now enjoy the L's too. This is what y'all wanted, right? I don't want to hear no crying during the rebuild. I said it. Don't tell me about the rebuild. Somebody in here could go link I had the same thing with Myles Garrett with the blog I did. I told y'all. Be careful what you want, what you wish for. Maybe you wanted to rebuild. Now it's all quiet. I don't see nobody. It's all quiet because it's sinking in. It's hitting you. Oh, snaps. This what it felt like when it go 1-31. And when people say, I don't want to be in Cleveland, I don't want to play in Cleveland, then you get all mad. Why you get mad? For what? Obviously, you don't like people to be playing in Cleveland sometimes, right? Trust me. Like, who leaves on a great note? We love Jarvis. I hate Jarvis. What? Come on, man. I'm keeping it real. What are out there for QB3s? JC? I don't know, man. Yeah, I mean, you tell me. I mean, at this point, we talking about quarterback threes. You know what I'm saying? Like, first and foremost, Jameis Winston should be playing. I know what they was trying to do. They was trying to be like, well, we got to see what we got in DTR. You see DTR as a young player. Interceptions. He does some crazy, erratic things with the ball sometimes, got a lot of arm strength. But now you see, like, he's a young player. Jameis Winston should be playing the rest of the year. It is what it is. They better figure something out, too, and get a playbook ready. Because all the other excuses, all that shotgun stuff don't work. All that don't work. The level of Gestapo, USSR conspiracy smoke and mirrors from the foreign office should be deeply studied. These people have sabotaged multiple people and hypnotized the fan base into believing their lies. Facts. Picture this. People get more mad at me for telling the truth than actually even wanting it to like acknowledge it. So I always, and people say, why you keep bringing up Baker? Because y'all is mad that Baker's gone, but you won't put a name or face to it. Who are you upset that Baker plays for another team? Seemingly, what you were upset was you blamed the people that said, hey, we got Deshaun Watson now. That was what your war was. Let's go back and forth with the Deshaun Watson contingency. All the meanwhile, the people who got rid of your beloved Baker are the same guys running your organization. So put a name to it. Because I didn't sign Baker and I didn't get rid of him. That wasn't my decision. But you hurry up and figure it out. Because guess what? You're going to have another decision coming up on a quarterback soon. Please beware of that. Please beware. Please. William Wise, you said it's in such a concise moment. Management stinks. Players don't care. What next? I think that's the part where we're gonna have an opportunity to check out and see, because we are going to see how good Kevin Stefanski is at motivating and getting guys to play football. Because now it's directly on him. He's going to have to coach for this. He's going to have to show and prove. I don't think I've seen a worst team in my lifetime. I'm 32. That's right. This is the worst than 1-31. Josh Z. On the field, it was on the. Think about it. We can't line up straight, bro. My man, we can't throw regular passes. We can't run regular plays. They opened the game. Nick Chubb, it's supposed to be. You couldn't even hide good behind Nick. How do you mess up a good feel-good story like Nick Chubb? Think about this. Nick Chubb is worth at least 2 to 3 games of goodwill from the fan base. All you got to do is come out and look half competent and be relatively competitive, because Nick Chubb is back and people is excited to see one of the most beloved people in the city in the world. And guess what? You let them run 100-yard kickoff back? I can't make this up. I can't make it up. They ran back the opening kick on you. And the defense played good. That's the only points they got for a while. That's the only points they had. This is wild, man. You guys are wild. You guys are freaking wild. This Super Daddy. The media is also blame covering better than Prime Ramsey. Also, you notice the comments are disabled every post game. Because look, hey, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Here's why. Here's why it's 3,000 people in here. Guess what? I don't disable comments. I don't disable nothing. You tune in because I'm going to keep it 100,000%. I don't go to birthday parties. I'm not trying to move up the ladder. I'm not trying to hang out with people. And shout out to Mary Kay. She's already a Hall of Famer. I wouldn't want to deal with some people anyway. She already got her money. She already good. She's stamped. She's a Hall of Famer. It is what it is. She's a trailblazer. She's the only woman in the game, and she's been doing it for a very long time. Shout out to Mary Kay. But as for me, I take the long, hard, less driven path. I came from zero off the couch. And always remember this. In this industry, you started from zero, you got to be okay with going back to zero. I could wake up tomorrow and be like, you know what? We don't want to hear G. Bush's truth serum no more. We don't like his style. We're going to get rid of him. We'll find something to cancel him on. And guess what? Be right back on this internet doing my own two-step. You know what it is. Come on now. But the media be doing gymnastics. The gymnastics is coming. The gymnastics is coming. Watch what I tell you. You can hit me up on Twitter. Watch what I tell you. But this job, I just envy Kev. I just envy this whole front office. This year was just one of those years. It was just one of those years where, just nothing really worked out. I really think that this Browns coaching staff and front office is going to get them back on track. I just think the trade was just such a devastating part. And I just think moving forward, the Browns are going to be better for where they came out of. Stop. I hate the way you talk. I hate it. Let me talk. I hate the way you speak. Do you get together and write that stuff by yourself? Who says that? This is what the people really want to hear? I had to take my headphones off. I just really believe that, it was just one of those years, and they could never really get right. Stop. It's coming. Well, somebody said I'm wrong. G. Bush, you're wrong because you told us to tell you that you're wrong. Okay, I see what you said. All that being said, people cheering for his injury was pathetic. Look, I ain't never claimed to be right all the time. I don't claim I'm gonna be right all the time. I told y'all I wanted Deshaun Watson to have 4,500 yards. I quickly realized that wasn't happening. Ain't happened. Let me get 2,200 and some change, maybe. And that's not happening. I ain't right all the time. But you got to feel one thing though. I'll be on to something sometimes. I'll be on to something. I'll be on it. I'll be on to it. Hey, RG Dude 323. I appreciate your super chat. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate that, man. Let's see. Let me see. Here we go. Got one more. Fred Himes. We appreciate you, brother. Not everybody is going to skate on this, and they might clean house after this. And at that point, I'm fine with it. Barry D. Podesta, Kev, cool. You're not going to be able to escape this one, bro. You're not going to be able to skate on this, boy. Ooh. Hit that like button wherever you at. Hit the like button. I'm going to ask y'all a question because this is getting interesting. There's a reason why a Browns fan is supposed to be tuning in. If you're a Browns fan, this is the time you're actually supposed to be watching because this is going to be an evaluation period. And it's kind of exciting, even though it's kind of sad at the same time, because now in real time, I get a chance to finally see what the root of the problem is. Let me explain. And before we do that, I'm going to ask you to put a poll. I wish I could do a poll question. I'm going to ask you this question. Moving forward, if the Browns don't figure it out, what is the number one culprit for them not figuring it out and why they had this year? Coaching, front office, that's Barry and D. Podesta with the way they pick players, the quarterback situation, or the offensive line and receivers. Because that's a tight one. And the reason I'm asking you guys that question, so go ahead and put it in the chat. We'll read those off. The reason I'm asking you that question is this. We're going to find out now because Kevin Stefanski can call whatever he wants and he can pick whatever quarterback he wants. We're going to figure out what the second line and second tier of these receivers and some of these young players are because we're going to be asking them to play. There's no Mari Cooper. Jerry Jeudy, you might want to get it together. Jamari Thrash, where are you at? Where's Kadarius Toney at? Is he still hurt? Does he know the playbook? Mike Hall Jr., I need to see something. All these young dudes are going to get a chance to play. So we're going to see if you've drafted and scouted well. We're going to also see play calling. What is the offense? What is the future of the offense? What are we doing there? We're going to look at quarterback play. Was it Deshaun Watson holding on to the football, or was it the offensive line don't have no time for him? Was it rudimentary concepts? We're going to find that out right now. And this offensive line, if you're giving up sacks with Jameis Winston, DTR, and Deshaun Watson, it means you're just garbage. So that's what we need to hear. That's what we need to see. Let me know. Let me know. Because let me take this super chat and we're gonna get to that before we wrap this thing up. Real Ben Maynard, I appreciate the super chat. So G, if we would do a coaching change, do we need a total culture change type coach like Belichick, Geisen, Brian Flores type? Shout out to the Kool-Aid Mafia. Hey, let me tell you this. You about the second or third person that mentioned Belichick. Let me tell you something. There's a few things that I think is really damning to Kevin Stefanski. One of them is seemingly the lack of accountability when it comes to these penalties. We are sitting here taking penalty after penalty after penalty, and it's everything under the it's not just one thing. It's offsides, it's holding, it's illegal man downfield, it's face mask, it's illegal hands to the face, it's chop blocks, it's everything. It's also the special teams. You missed a field goal today and an extra point. You gave up a 100-yard kick return and another 25 or 30-yard punt return, and you got Deontay Foreman returning kicks. Why is oh my gosh. How is it? Explain this to me. Somebody, please. Please. This is not, I don't get it. How is a short yardage, slow, bruising, journeyman, fullback bodied returner like Deontay Foreman returning kicks? He's a goal line back and he's returning kicks for your team. You cut pro side, you cut like you this is my thing. Every year you get an opportunity to get a kick returner, and you don't. You had Donovan Peoples-Jones returning punts. You don't never have a kick returner. And you got Deontay Foreman back there. Put Pierre Strong back there. Put any small receiver back there. And then he fumbles the ball, and you get the ball inside your 20. I cannot make this up, people. I can't make it up. You have a goal line back returning kicks for you. That type of stuff makes me, shout out to real Ben Maynard. It makes me think there needs to be a complete reset, because I don't know how they're thinking about the game of football. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't understand why they choose which receivers run which route. I talked to Sean King, and Sean King says, why would you have Akins running a clear out route in over in Las Vegas when Amari Cooper could run that route? It's just, man, the whole thing is just falling apart, man. Man, it's man, it's tough, man. It's a tough one, man. Tough game. We'll keep it moving. Sapper Daddy says, thank you so much for the super chat. Saw Thrash standing on the sidelines looking longedly at the field, but this is the coaching staff that in the drafting period. Again, they want system people, and playmakers are not system people. Let me be honest with you, bro. There's one thing that is another thing that I'm evaluating. What playmakers have they developed, man? There is no way that Amari Cooper can go from here and just score and get touchdowns immediately. Odell Beckham Jr., leave here. Go out and score immediately. Kareem Hunt, leave here. Not get carries. Go somewhere else and get. And I get it, fellas. And I get it. I so get it. I know that we don't want to get to a point. You know, you see people stay in bad relationships all the time, whether it be in life, whether it be with friends, whether it be family or romantic. We see bad people stay in relationships all the time, bad relationships. And they're smart people. They're smart, they're educated, they're solid people. They stay in those relationships out of fear and complacency. For so long, the Cleveland Browns have been sitting here waiting to get all these things, pieces and parts into one room. For years we talked about, what is it, the GM? Is it the philosophy? Is it the 3-4 to 4-3? We brought Holmgren in. We bought those type. We brought Lombardi in. We talk about Tom Hecker. We bring all these coaches in. We brought we know the greatest hits. But if you sit here today and you say, I'm kind of wondering if we got the right thing, the scary part is you're looking at figuring out if it's a GM. You got to give him 2-3 years to get his classes in. Then you get a new coach. We got to give him 2-3 years to figure it out. Then you got a new whole front office philosophy on drafting, and you got a bunch of new Ivy League dudes coming in here selling us the same old smoke, and the same old snake oil salesmen coming here telling us about what we need to do. And the same old, the Browns are glaring. They're just a championship organization. They're one of our pillars. And my goal is to see the Browns hoist that trophy. Shut your mouth and come in and get to work. Don't tell me about my history. The Browns are just or shut up. Come draft people and get to work. Don't want to hear none of that. And that's what you deal with when you start all the way over. No one wants to start all the way over. Nobody. So I understand it. I get it. I'm not crazy. I may talk crazy sometimes. Deepadessa has to be out with his absent self. Listen, by the way, we don't even still know what Deepadessa does. Let's see. Wayne Wills, 199. I appreciate you so much for the super chat. Let's get to some of these quotes. We go all the way down to the bottom. Who do you think it is? Whose fault is it? Let's see. Well, listen. Hold on. What do you mean? Please don't talk about us as fans. Every fan ain't a great fan. What you talking about? If you're a good fan and I'm not talking to you, good. See, this is my problem. You can be a fan and be a great fan that does not boo people when they get injured. Awesome. But I don't do collective identity. I don't do that. If you're a Browns fan, you're all good. No, we're not. That's dumb. Come on now. We're not doing that. Let me see. Let me see what we got. I don't get the Kevin Stefanski hate. Deshaun Watson, the O-line is bad. I feel like AB is a bigger issue. Here's what I'm saying, Key Adams. Let me ask you a question. So it's not hate. This is an assessment. If we said Deshaun Watson was bad and the offensive line is bad, then Kevin Stefanski does not have to deal with Deshaun Watson anymore because he's out. And people talked about Jameis Winston giving us the best chance to win, right? Well, now you have that. You have a week of preparation. We talked about we can't run that offense that we used to. He was successful with all those other quarterbacks. Well, you can run it now. And let me tell you this. If Kevin Stefanski balls out and the team is balling, I'll be the first one to go shake Kevin Stefanski's hand. Again. Congratulations, bro. We know it wasn't you. Let's move on to this offseason and build this thing back up. Easy money. You see, that's what you call being fair. I'm not married to getting rid of Kevin Stefanski, and I'm not married to anointing him the best coach of all time. What I am into is figuring out why we 1-6. And we're going to figure out, because the quarterback was an issue, offensive line was an issue. We're going to figure out what's going on with the coaching staff too. We're going to figure that's out. Here we go. Time to start Winston. 2 or 3 more wins. No worries. Kevin's going to fix it. Next week, oops. Next week, oops. Next week. You funny. Daryl, what's up, man? How do you move on from Watson? Bro, look. Again, Daryl, this is what I'm trying to let y'all know. Even in Deshaun Watson's absence, because he's injured, we are still enamored with Deshaun Watson. He's not coming back to the locker room. He's done for the year. We have way bigger problems than figuring out how we move on from Deshaun Watson. This is what people are not getting. What does answering that question mean? Like, it doesn't do us any good. You're left with Kevin Stefanski, Jameis Winston, and DTR, and how you win football games. Deshaun Watson shouldn't be the conversation topic. It's how do we win football games, and what way we need to do it. G. Bush, what up, Rob? It got late. Told y'all, got late early. Let's get back to the super chats. It got late early. Let me see. What we got here? Kid Andy. Browns fans are shunned by the media for having Watson as a QB. Stunned when we are looking forward to moving on because the owner refused to bench him. We just want a competent team. That's all. And I get that, Andy. Listen, man. We all in the same boat. Here's the thing. When you say we're shunned for moving on, you can want somebody to move on. You could be like, yo, I don't want him as my starting quarterback. Here's what the problem people have. It is a bridge too far when you root and cheer when your own team gets hurt. And it's not just Deshaun Watson. I gave you, when we opened the monologue, I gave you multiple times when this has happened. Multiple. And let me be clear. They're not doing that in Green Bay. I get that Green Bay they don't won championships, and I get that. But they're not doing that in Pittsburgh. Like they even cheer for Nick Chubb. So what I'm saying to you is, yes, you can be excited about the thought process of looking to finding a new quarterback and getting better and your team having success. But you don't have to do it at the cause of somebody else's demise. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, dog. And finally, J59UXU. Once again, he's the Bitcoin assassin. I don't know what you do, but shout out to you, bro. That's one of the most covert names of all time. With that being said, man, look, I just want to throw this out. Look, man, the Cleveland Browns fan base, and I said this earlier, I believe the Cleveland Browns fan base has one of the best fan bases in the game. And for all those people, they're not representative. The people that booed are not representative for the base as a whole. You got to look at it, man. Anytime there's a lot of loud people on Twitter, that's a loud 10%, loud 20%. For the most part, Cleveland Browns fans cheer for the Browns. We all want them to win, and we don't want to see people get hurt. So we're not gonna. I don't want to think that this is a hit piece on everybody, and I'm spreading blame on everybody. This is a few people here or there, and like I said, I even made some comments when I was a younger individual when it came to other people being injured. I didn't care. I told you I didn't care when the opposite team was injured. But I started to recognize as I got older, and as I went through things, I realized that's a different part of life, and I realized that that's not something that I wanted to be associated with. And you grow and you mature, right? So even those people that booed today, if they come around and say, you know what, I kind of want that back. You know what I'm saying? We'll move forward, and hopefully next time, we don't go that same route. But for the Cleveland Browns, I think one of the big pieces and one of the major pieces is this. You're gonna have an opportunity for guys to take some jobs, for some guys to step up and be somebody. There's a changing of the seasons right now. Right now for the Cleveland Browns, there's a changing of the tides. Of everything has a cycle. You never know when your cycle is going to come. You never know when your opportunity is going to be there, right? And that, whether that's for Jameis Winston or DTR at quarterback, whether that's from some young offensive lineman, whether that's somebody who's been a veteran who's played bad so far. Like there's an opportunity. There's an opportunity for Jed Wills or Jack Conklin or DeJuan Jones to step up and play better football and say, you know what? I'm better than that. There's always an opportunity. That's what the great thing about sports is. And you and I as humans, we have an opportunity every single day. If you on a diet and you was eating a bunch yesterday, you can always be better today. If you was a bad mom or bad son or bad father, or you just wasn't doing them things right, you can always be a better son, always be a better father, always be a better mom, right? You can always work on it. You still got breaths left. You still got time left. You still got an opportunity that God gave you a day to get better. So that ain't never being taken from nobody, right? You always got that. So this is an opportunity to see where the Cleveland Browns and who's going to take those opportunities, who's going to step up, and who's going to make something out of it. Because trust me, guarantee, there's going to be some opportunities and some plays to be made. It's just about whether you're going to do it or not. Go back 10, 15 years. I wasn't nowhere near this game. I was sleeping on the couch unemployed. Guess what? 15 years later, I ain't where I want to be, but I'm still working. I'm still grinding every single day. So everybody got that opportunity to do so. And like I said, this is why we do the shout out. This is why we do the call around. There's some real Browns fans out there that even if they 1-7 or 1-6, we still rock and support them, right? We talk about how we can get better or what we need to do to get better. So with that being said, if it wasn't for the Cleveland Browns, there wouldn't be 3,800 people watching some little old dude named G. Bush, the Duke and Knee-Jerk, Kool-Aid Mafia in the building, talking this talk this long about the Browns. So with that being said, where the real ones at? I want the Browns fans that, a little disappointed, yes, a little angry, yes, but looking forward to some guys stepping up and looking forward to some dudes and to see what Kevin Stefanski made of, Andrew Berry made of, whoever's whoever. And I'm going to start with me, G. Bush in the building. 216-330-440 in the building, Hall of Fame City. Where you calling from? Where the real ones at? Real Browns fans, where they at? Let me see. Some of y'all gonna be mad at me. I can't believe G. Bush told us off like that. Got the nerve to be telling us about our soft boot. Don't you know Deshaun Watson was terrible? I know, man. But just let it pass over. Where the real ones at? Let's keep it going. Where we at? Let's see. Houston in the building. A 330 in the building. Akron's in the building, man. Orville is in here. Cleveland Heights, Virginia Beach, Akron. Francis 69, man. Pittsburgh Steelers, man. Explain Hunt, please. I don't know. Hey, I do like Cam Warren, by the way. Cam Warren is nice. Hey, we gonna have Brown. Listen, hey, we gonna have some what's the name talk. We gonna have some what's the name talk. Some draft talk too. It's crazy. Portsmouth in here. 216. We got a couple. Martin's Ferry. Oh, we got to get that one. We're going to get that super chat. Thanks for my lovely assistant. Philippines is in here. Martin's Ferry. Shout out to Chad Brinker. Vermilion 330. Diehard fan from Elyria, Columbus. I see you. Iowa. 330-419. New York in the building. 330. Goodland. We here. 505, Youngstown, San Antonio, Kool-Aid Mafia down there in East Cleveland, West Park, 216, man. 93, Xenia, man, 215, 440, Streetsboro, Knoxville, Brunswick. We see you. Yeah, we everywhere. Orlando, London, Steubenville, Slavic Village, Medina, 919, Mayfield Heights. What's up, Rob? Cleveland in the building, Glendale, Arizona. Let's see, 216-91, El Paso, Charlotte, Houston, Louisville, 305. What up, Greg? Kelly Island, New York, right? You know what? We kicking it, man. 216 in the building. We here. Draft, DC, San Antonio, 508, Cam Ward is another one. Jacksonville, Florida. North Carolina. Is that Alabama? As always, Karen, what's up, man? I see you. Y-Town, New York. Hey, Cavs is coming up too. I gotta listen. Hey, listen, I gotta let up on Darius Garland. I can't be on Darius Garland this early in the season. Darius Garland called me, man. I'm taking you off the bad list. The Browns did. You got a reprieve. 832 Toledo, Maple Heights, New York, man. 941 Bedford, Ashland, Dayton, 216. Hawaii in the building. Medina is here. Los Angeles, Chicago, Wisconsin, 216. Raleigh, North Carolina, Sarasota, Florida. Youngstown, 740. We still going. Portsmouth. Shout out to Portsmouth. Where's Jeremy Green at? Shout out to Ray Bob. All them down there. Jonah Booker, Grand Valley, 440. We got so many of these. You guys have been. You guys are doing it. I got one more super chat. I almost forgot this one before we get out of here. They don't hate Deshaun Watson for the allegations. They hate Deshaun Watson because the media created the narrative that's the worst trade ever and helped the NFL's agenda against guaranteed contracts. Love what you do, G. Bush. That was definitely a thing. They're good at that, by the way. Because the NFL is a 24-hour, 7 days a week, like news cycle. They introduce stuff in the cycle and it says worst trade ever, worst trade ever, worst trade ever, worst trade ever, worst trade. And then it just permeates, right? So every time you turn on the TV, you think it is the worst trade ever. And guess what? It might be up there in the top 5, but that shouldn't preclude you from being excited when somebody gets injured. Because all it does is it just hurts your team. It just hurts you and your fan base. So I do like where you went with that. The media is good. They are good. They get paid for a reason. They get checks too. With that being said, I want to thank everybody for taking time. We've been here a long time. Thank you guys for pulling up with me. Whether you agree with me or don't agree with me, the great thing about it is we still got a forum in which we discord and we talk. And you may not like G. Bush and what he got to say, but you can't say I never hit it. I didn't sugarcoat it. I gave it to you 100. And I talk to the people. Ain't nobody gonna take this time to talk. I talk to you. I'm gonna give you the most time on my radio station. I'm gonna keep it real with you. And if you disagree with me, I don't even yell at you. I'll be up in the middle of the night texting you. So why would you hate me? Understand. It's the barbershop. You never know where G. Bush gonna show up. Radio, television, and internet. But if you want the fresh cut, if you want the fresh take on sports, you know where to get it. It's your boy G. Bush. Have a great evening. And reluctantly, I don't know. Sometimes I want to say it. Go Browns.